Hello everyone, Ken here, back with another video for you. If you're new to my channel, I'm a data scientist that makes videos about the broader field of data science and sports analytics. In this video, I'll introduce you to the main reason why many people struggle to learn the field of data science. As a special thanks for watching to the end of the video, I'll also give you my best advice for getting past this major hurdle. It's been almost 5 years since I began my data science journey, and I can barely remember the struggles I had when I was first getting started in the field. Honestly, it had been some time since I'd learned something truly new and outside of my comfort zone, and so since we're in quarantine, I decided to experiment with something radically different. I picked up one of these. After starting to learn the Rubik's Cube, a flood of nostalgia came back to me, and I remembered the early part of my data science journey. It seemed so overwhelming to learn the math and the computer science that is relevant for the field. I came from a business background, so almost all of the concepts were completely new to me. And I'm not alone. One of the most common comments that I get on my channel is that I don't know where to start, or can I really learn all of this? When we think about learning the field of data science as a whole, it seems like an almost insurmountable task. There's so many different concepts and algorithms and whatever there might be that you actually have to learn. This small learning endeavor of picking up a Rubik's Cube helped me to remember this struggle, and it holds the key to getting past it. When I first scrambled a Rubik's Cube, I was completely paralyzed. I didn't know what to do. Basically, any way I turned it, it seemed to get more and more confusing. My natural inclination was to go online and figure out how to at least get it back to where I started once. I found hundreds of tutorials and different approaches to solving this cube, and again, I was overwhelmed by just how much information there was out there. This is when I relived one of my first data science kind of light bulb moments. The answer is to just start somewhere, and it usually doesn't matter where. I stopped looking and I went with my gut and just picked the next tutorial that I found that seemed of decent quality. This is something you can apply to your data science learning process as well. I firmly believe that the majority of the courses out there for data science are very good, and it matters more that you start somewhere rather than choosing the perfect one that might not actually exist. I made a video about the best free courses that I found, and I've linked it above and below if you want more information on that. I also have a good relationship with 365 Data Science, and you can get a discount on their courses through my link below if you're interested. The tutorial that I found broke down solving the Rubik's Cube into basically 7 different steps. Each of these steps were reasonably manageable, but again, I felt like it would be almost impossible for me to get through them all sequentially. At this point, I remembered the second epiphany that I had when learning data science. Breaking things down into small and digestible components is the best way to actually learn something. You learn each one individually and then you put it together at the end. I knew I could understand each of the individual steps, and if I stopped worrying about the stuff that I didn't know yet, it was easier to focus on the task at hand. Each day I focused mainly on a single step, and I did a little practice, just tying 1 or 2 or 3 of these together. Breaking this big challenge into small and manageable problems helped me not to get discouraged and to stick with the overall process. Each day I was creating little wins that I could get excited about. I'd solve 1 or 2 parts, and that was an accomplishment for me. Again, data science is no different. You can transform the field of data science into a series of little steps. For example, one step you could be trying to understand some programming, a for loop in Python, and another day you could try to understand how a simple linear regression works. After you understand how these tools work, you'll have a far easier time understanding how a while loop or a multiple linear regression functions. You can almost always build on the knowledge that you accumulate as well. It might sound super cliche, but if you were to climb Mount Everest, you would do it 1 step at a time. If you focus on making the individual steps without looking up too often, you'll eventually reach your destination. The last thing that my Rubik's Cube experiment reminded me of was the importance of being patient with myself. Learning takes time, and most people will not get it right away. The last step of the process for solving the Rubik's Cube was so frustrating. I just couldn't get it. At one point, I got so frustrated that it really wasn't even fun anymore. I had to remind myself that challenging myself is fun, and that I'd eventually get it. It's okay to put something down and pick it back up again later. If you persevere and are kind to yourself in the process, you'll get to the destination 99% of the time. When it comes to data science, I distinctly remember reading the same page of one of my textbooks like 15 times to finally digest the networking topic I was focusing on. I had learned many other complex topics before, and I knew I was capable of learning this at some point. I hope that my experiment here helped you to get past your own personal hurdles when learning data science. If you enjoyed this video, please show it some love by hitting the like button, and if you want to see more, remember to subscribe and turn on notifications to be alerted when I post my next weekly video. Until next time, good luck on your data science journey.